This month has been a bittersweet one. The S&P 500 has rebounded a little bit and grown about 8%. However, that does mean that some dividend stocks aren't selling at a discount anymore. Regardless, I did pick up a handful of stocks, so I'll be sharing those with you guys today, as well as what dividends I've received throughout the month and what I'm expecting to receive next month. With that said, let's jump into it. And if you're here, share my investing journey to inspire you to start growing your wealth. Jumping into M1 Finance over here, this is the brokerage I use for my Dividend and Roth IRA portfolios. So it's a great platform. And if you're interested in opening an account with them, I have a referral link down in my description. That'll give you $10 when you open up an account. I also have a tutorial that I put together, so I'll have that in the description as well. So looking at the current value of my portfolio is $7,014.34. My overall gain is a negative $235.20. My overall return is a negative 7.67%. Looking at this past month, I have a gain of $447.27 and a return of 7.12%. So this past month has been pretty good. Over in my holdings, just looking at my top 3 and bottom 3 stocks in my portfolio. First up is AbbVie, ticker symbol ABBV. AbbVie has grown about 24%. Now we have Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LNT, and it has grown 14.31%. And we have Pepsi, ticker symbol PEP, which has grown 10.5%. Here we have my bottom 3. First is Intel, ticker symbol INTC, and it has fallen about 21.61%. Then we have Cisco, ticker symbol CSCO, and it has fallen about 18%. And lastly, we have Verizon, ticker symbol VZ, and it has fallen 16.86%. Moving over to the dividends I received this month, I received payouts from 5 different companies. So first up is Best Buy, ticker symbol BBY, and I received $7.17 on July 5th for my 9 shares of Best Buy. And Best Buy is one of those companies I really like the stock fundamentals and dividend, as well as just shopping at the store. I pretty much buy all my electronics at Best Buy, and actually this past weekend I just bought a new video game, Xenoblade 3, so I'm excited to get into that game. So over here on the dividend summary, Best Buy has a dividend yield of 4.5%, and it'll give you an annual payout of $3.52 with its payout ratio of 33.76%, which is pretty nice, having about a third of what the company profits, with a nice growth rate of 20.57% for the last 5 years, and it's been consistently growing that dividend for the last 8 years. Best Buy has grown this last month about 14% with a current share price of $76.99, and is trading closer to its lower end of its 52-week range. On July 15th, I received 2 different payouts, both of them being REITs. The first one is from Realty Income, ticker symbol O, and I received 48 cents for my 2 shares of Realty Income. And the second was from Stag, ticker symbol STAG, and for 10.5 shares, I received $1.18. Now, right now with inflation going crazy, REITs are pretty good to have in your portfolio as far as a hedge against inflation. Realty Income has a dividend yield of 4%, and it'll give you an annual payout of $2.97 with a payout ratio of 282.45%. You may be wondering, how can Realty Income afford 3 times of its ratio? No, with REITs, it's a little different. They're required to pay at least 90% of their earnings to their shareholders. So REITs are always going to have an extremely high payout ratio compared to other dividend stocks. So they're most likely always above the 100%. Moving on, we have a dividend growth rate for the last 5 years of 3.83%. And Realty Income has been consistently growing that dividend for the last 25 years, making them a dividend aristocrat. And within the last month, Realty Income has grown about 8.5%, giving them a current share price of $73.99. And they are right now very close to their 52-week high of $75. Looking at Stag, they have a dividend yield of 4.5% with an annual payout of $1.46. They have a payout ratio of 113.67%. And their growth rate for the last 5 years has been at a very small 0.83%. And they've been consistently growing that dividend for the last 7 years. Now for Realty Income and Stag, they're both monthly dividend payers, which is kind of nice to have a consistent payer every single month. Looking at the last month, Stag has grown about 5% with the current share price of $32.78. And they are very close to their 52-week low of $29. Next dividend I received was on July 27th from Cisco, ticker symbol CSCO. And for the 1.12 shares I own of Cisco, I received 43 cents. Now Cisco, they have a dividend yield of 3.35%. That'll give you an annual payout of $1.52. They have a payout ratio of 44.21%. And they've been growing that dividend for the last 5 years at a rate of 6.4% and been consistently growing that dividend for the last 11 years. For the last month, Cisco has grown 5.83% with the current share price of $45.37. And Cisco is close to its 52-week low of $40. Now I am expecting to receive one more dividend this month on July 31st, which is a Sunday, so I'll most likely be getting a payout on the 1st of August. And that company is JP Morgan, ticker symbol JMP. And for the 3.92 shares I own of JP Morgan, I'm expected to receive $3.92, which is kind of funny that I basically received $1 for every share I own of JP Morgan, which is kind of cool. JP Morgan has a dividend yield of 3.5%. And they'll give you an annual payout of $4. So as I mentioned, pretty much every quarter you'll get $1 for every share that you own. And they have a payout ratio of 32.6% with a growth rate for the last 5 years of 15.33%. And they've been consistently growing the dividend for 1 year. Now within the last month, JP Morgan has stayed pretty stagnant. It's only fallen about 0.71%, so it brings its current share price to $115.36, and that is very close to its 52-week low of $106. So tallying up all the dividends I received this month, that'll give me a total of $13.18. Now moving on to the stocks that I purchased throughout the month. But before I get there, I have a question for you guys, which is, what stocks did you buy throughout the month of July? Let me know down in the comments. And while you're there, if you've been enjoying this portfolio update, let me know by smashing the like button. And also consider subscribing to the channel to be notified when I post my future update. For July, I did switch up what stocks I was focused on throughout the month, mostly due to the stock market rebounding a little bit. My main focus was on Johnson & Johnson and JP Morgan. For Johnson & Johnson, I bought $150 worth, and that gave me 0.86 shares of Johnson & Johnson. For JP Morgan, I put $100 worth, and it was just a coincidence that I also received 0.86 shares of JP Morgan, which I thought was funny when I was tallying everything up that they were both 0.86 shares. Now, I also, at the beginning of the month, did purchase $50 worth of Target back when it was still around $140, and that gave me 0.34 shares of Target. Also bought $40 worth of Intel. That gave me about 1 share of Intel, and then I put $30 in for Stag, and that gave me 1 share of Stag. Lastly was $20 worth of AT&T. I bought this right after earnings when the stock fell, and I was like, let me just swoop one up when it's at a little bit of a discount. Stock fell primarily to the drop of free cash flow. Some of it was because spending more with their broadband expansion, and also with customers not paying their bills. So both those together had an impact on the free cash flow. And that brings you to a total of $309. Moving on to the dividends I'm expected to receive in August. I'm over here in the dividend tracker, and I recently received a question from one of my subscribers, Omar Santos, asking about the platform that I use to calculate the dividends I'm receiving in the future. And so I used the dividend tracker, and just a little summary of it. Basically, there is a free and a paid version of the dividend tracker, and you can manually add in your portfolios, or with a paid version, you can connect your brokerages and just have it auto update. You'll get basically a summary of your portfolio all in one place, as well as calculate the dividends you'll receive in the future. You can also do stock research here to give you different stats about the stocks and also give you a dividend grade on whether or not it's a safe dividend stock based on different categories. I do have a referral link down in the description if you're interested in opening an account with Dividend Tracker. And once again, there is a free and a paid version of the platform. So for August, the dividends I'm going to receive, first up is AbbVie, ticker symbol ABBV. And for the 1 share of AbbVie that I own, I'll receive $1.44. For Caterpillar, ticker symbol CAT, I have 0.33 shares of Caterpillar, which will give me 40 cents. Scrolling down here. Next, Lowe's, ticker symbol LOW, will pay me $4.23 for the 4 shares of Lowe's that I own. And Realty Income, ticker symbol O, for the 2 shares that I own, I'll receive 46 cents. Scrolling down once again. For the 8.8 shares of Starbucks that I own, ticker symbol SBUX, I'll receive $4.35. And for my second monthly dividend payer, Stag, ticker symbol STAG, for the 10.5 shares of Stag that I own, I'll receive $1.29. For AT&T, ticker symbol T, I own 3 shares of AT&T, so that'll give me 85 cents. And lastly, for Verizon, ticker symbol VZ, for the 2 shares of Verizon, they'll pay me $1.38. And that'll give me a grand total of $14.40. Looking into what I'm keeping my eye on in August, once again, I am still looking at Apple and Microsoft. They have rebounded. They started rebounding about late June, and the price has been rising. So I am waiting for them to come back down before considering growing a position in them. The other ones, I am keeping an eye on Lowe's. Recently, Lowe's has also rebounded, so waiting for it to be around that $170 worth again. Now, the stocks that I am planning to purchase, still going to be looking at Johnson & Johnson and also JP Morgan and Bank of America. JP Morgan has been staying pretty stagnant this last month. Bank of America has grown a little bit. I'll be buying some of those shares up, as well as Intel, growing my position in that. Those are just a handful of what I'm looking at in August. Now, just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so definitely do your own research before investing in any of these stocks. If you do want to see my portfolio update back in June, you can check out this video where I received a handful of dividend stocks that month. Also, if you want to see stock analysis that I've done, you can check out this playlist right here. Catch you next video. Peace.